Hi, today on the bench I have this nVidia Shield TV. Now it was sent in by someone that just picked it up. I believe it is not working, and they would like me to take a look at that because it looks like the previous owner has hardwired the power brick in. There's supposed to be a connector here, but it looks like, and I'll show you in a second, the plug is just completely missing and the wires are dangling in, and you can see a blobby mess of solder and disgustingness in there. So let's take a look and see if we can get this going again. Well, here it is, and yeah, like I said, it is shocking what that looks like, and you can see just as I wobble it around, that wire inside is just completely loose, and yeah, someone's just unceremoniously hacked off the end of this cable and put it in there. I'm guessing at some point in time the plug, the socket, the connector broke off or something like that. Maybe the pin's loosened. Anyway, and it just wasn't making a good connection anymore. And I do know that the nVidia Shield like this does use a proprietary, like a laptop style plug, because it does take 19 volts in. So I guess they just got rid of the plug, cut the end off the cable, and just soldered it in at some point in time. I don't know. This is exactly how the person that sent this in received it. I think they just got it off eBay or something. Yeah, so just long in the history of the unit. Anyway, let's dive in and take a look. So first and foremost, we need to get it open, and there's no screws. So I was just having a look around the unit, and judging by there's some pry marks kind of in a bunch of spots around the board, like here and back here. So I think I'll go up here. It looks like someone's clearly been in here before, but it looks like that's the way in. It's probably just clipped together. A lot of the pry marks are on the top, and if I was a betting man, the bottom would pry off of this, just based on how I can feel, like I'm just putting my fingernail in. I can't get it in through there, through the top, but I can get it in at the bottom. So let's grab a little plastic spudger. There we go. Oh yeah. Simple. Look at that. Yeah, this has definitely been apart before. Oh, and yeah, this case. Okay. So, that's the bottom. Well, look at that. They added like a, it's like a steel base to give this some heft, and it has worked, because that base feels solid. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. That's terrible. And yeah, you can see the other wire here. Looks like it's come loose. Yep, it's completely broken loose. That would be why it's no longer working. But it's just a huge glob of solder there. That's gross. Okay. Let's definitely start by removing that. I'm wondering if I should just clip this off. So I'm going to need to repair it. I'm obviously not going to use those ends. Yeah, let's just do that for now. Let's just do that. It looks like it's just a straight 19 volt DC supply, so we should be able to redo that again in a bit. Okay, we are free. Let's look at getting this board out. So, it actually looks like this is a separate power board with different connectors from the main board, so we might be in luck. Let's try and unplug some of these connectors first of all. That's already loose. Interesting. Oh, that looks like it's a hold down for the SSD. Oh, this doesn't look like an SSD. What's that? That's weird. Yeah, this isn't an SSD. There's nothing in there. It's like there's a space for an SSD. Maybe there's an expandability. I don't know. Unplug this fan connector. And looks like we may need to take this off as well. Okay. That goes there. So that's a... Wow, that is an interesting connector. Huh. Looks like a pin grid array to go to this. That's really cool. That's so very interesting. Wow. Huh. Okay. Sorry, I'm geeking out over the connectors here. Then this looks like it should just lift straight out of there. Yes. There we are. Just left the wire behind. Okay. Wow, yeah, so it looks like that went onto the bottom. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, this is gonna need some cleaning up. Oh, jeez. I don't actually know where this wire went to, because looking at this, it looks like it was soldered to the same pin. Like, it looks like it was soldered over here, maybe? I don't know what it was soldered to at all, actually. I'm gonna have to clean this entire area up so that I can actually figure out what even was going on here. Ugh, that's terrible. Oh, look at that. There's more metal on the top side. I really wanted to add weight to this unit. Bloody hell. I guess that makes sense, because if it's a dinky little PCB in a plastic case sitting on your top, your entertainment unit or whatever, you kind of want it to have some weight and not shift about a bunch. Okay, let's fire up the iron and get this out of here. It's kind of unfortunate that the original connector isn't there, so I can't just reconnect that. Maybe we could look at getting some other type of connector in that same same socket hole and repinning the end of this connector. Yeah, okay. Let's tidy this up. Jeez, look at... Oh, did you see that blob of solder? God. Look at that. Look how much excess solder fell off. Yeah. Wow, that's new. Never had that happen to me before. Guess I'll pull that one out. And we're back. I think it's time to dig out the microscope so we can actually see exactly what's going on down here, because this is a mess. I'm getting old. Eyes aren't what they used to be. Well, let's see, shall we? Let's tidy this up. Oh yeah, there's the problem. Looks like someone ripped off the old power connectors pads before. Even a via there is lifted. I'm gonna have to be very careful. Okay, that one's lifted too. Jeez. A bunch of junk in here. But yeah, all these power pads were torn off. I'm guessing this is where the wire was previously for the positive, and then that maybe came down through here. These looks like inductors, I'd guess. Diodes? I don't know, they're not actually marked. Let's try to figure out where we can wire to, shall we? I'm going to put my multimeter in beeper mode. There we go. Tack tack. So I want to just check if this is going to here. Yep. And then there. Yes. That's going everywhere apparently. Is that ground? Because this should be ground over here, and it is not. So yeah, these would be ferrite inductors. Maybe, maybe not. 3 ohms, 1 ohm. What are you? Ah, I just had to push through. Okay. Yeah, these would be inductors, and this would be our positive pad. And that's going to a cap over here, and this would be probably ground on this side. No? So yeah, there's our ground, and there's our ground. And this would be our positive, which comes across here and goes through these inductors, and then from here it goes, yeah, to all the other power stuff. Right, so this would be our good pickup place, although that pad there is actually also fried, so maybe this guy here, but that's past this inductor, so it's, yeah, it's kind of a bit not ideal. Let's check the other side, because this is where they had the ground hooked up to. Let's double check if that actually is a ground, because that's not always a ground. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So they locked out there, but I'm guessing it was working with the original owner's crap hack, and then eventually that cable would have come loose and just ripped the remaining power pad completely off. So we're gonna have to do some repair. As you can see here now that we've cleaned off a lot of the old remnants of flux and junk, it looks like that power comes straight in through here, and it looks like it only goes to these 2 inductors here through this pad. I don't know where that pad goes to. Guessing just by the fact that it's lifted, that's just a test point and doesn't actually go down to a via. I checked on the other side, there's no through, but it could go to this internal ground plane that I can see here, or internal power plane. Guess we'll have to find out later if it doesn't work anymore, but yeah, this is the only place that I'll be able to pick that up, so that kinda sucks. What I may end up doing is just scraping back all of this solder mask in this trace area here to get enough copper to be able to solder something to. Yeah, it's not promising. Otherwise, we can look at just, you know, avoiding these inductors and going straight into this pad here, or this pad here, or this pin here. These are all connected to the other side of these inductors, so it's not ideal for power delivery. You know, these inductors would clean that up and do inducting things, but, well, needs to work, right? So the one thing that we don't want to do if we don't do that is bridge between here and here, because that just negates the point of that altogether. So yeah, I think we will, like I said, scrape a lot of this back and see if we can get bare copper to trace to, and hopefully make another solid connection. But we still need to figure out how we're going to solder this down, because I'm not going to put that wire straight back in, because that's just going to lead to the exact same problem with, you know, that wire jiggling around and ripping this pad off once again. So need to figure out some kind of solution to fix this up properly. Okay, been a few days. I've been chatting with the owner of this nVidia Shield, and we've come up with a plan. So, as we saw, these pads are useless now, and there's no chance I'm going to get the original connector back on there, or really any other connector. So I need to effectively make something work that can hook up to other points around here somewhere else. And yeah, the plan that we've come up with is, like, this original power thingy, if we have a look on the bottom here, if it wants to focus, no, focus, there we go. It is 19 volts at 2.1 amps. It's right there somewhere. So, what we came up with is getting one of these little thingos off eBay, or AliExpress. I think I got this one off eBay. What it is a little USB-C power delivery trigger board, I believe it's called. And what these do, it's got a little tiny little power or USB-C control chip there, and 4 configurable jumpers. from 9 volts up to 20 volts that basically you plug in USB-C and it tells the power delivery chip on the other side of the USB-C charger, a real USB-C, not just any regular 5-volt USB, what voltage we actually want. So 20 volts is close enough to 19 volts where it should work. And these boards are rated at 5 amps, which, I mean, I doubt it, but we'll see. 5 amps is a lot more than 2, so that should be fine. So yeah, theoretically, what I can do here is pop this in place of the old port and hook up the negative and positive to other jumps, use a USB-C PD charger, properly rated one, and it should just work, and the owner's happy with that, so let's kick into it. Now, first of all, what I want to do is actually give this a test, because I've never used one of these before. It'll be interesting. So what I've got here is one of these little just USB-C voltmeters, and I have the plug, a USB-C connector from my, I think this is my MacBook charger, which is a very good USB-C power delivery thing. And out of the gate, this is you can see that jumper there on the side there, it's configured for 12 volts. So what we'd need to do is just remove that little solder blob and move it down to the 20 volt. But let's just see if it puts out 12 volts. Yeah. Seems to be configured for 12. Alright, that's good. Let's actually test that. So I've got my meter here, and let's check. We've got negative on this side and positive on that side. Yeah, 12.21 volts. I'm happy with that. Well, let's actually make sure it'd fit on the board. So let's have a look and see. So this board fits in that little gap there, and it looks like you can see that the ports are all kind of centered on the PCB. So we're going to need to make sure, and looking at how the ports are configured, that power port was also centered. So we kind of need to make sure that the port can be centered as well, so that it can actually fit in the hole. Looking at this board, it is very low profile. It's only it looks like a 1mm PCB. Can we get it on that side? Will it fit in that gap? It looks like the port is super close. Might need to just kind of maybe shave down the sides. Although actually, if I kind of wedge it in there, it fits kind of perfectly. It's almost like it was made for a USB-C port. Yeah, look at that. That's holding in spot on. Okay, will that work? No, because we've got a connector there. So that is it's this connector. Yeah, there's no chance of that getting on there. So what about the other side? There are a lot of stuff there. Well, can we get it? Yeah, that could work. I mean, it's sticking up a bit, and I'd have to definitely make sure that none of those short, so like layers of Kapton underneath there. And it is at a bit of an angle, but I think that would still work. Might need to show our trust in hot glue to get that nice and solid. The other thing that I can see is that the USB-C port is recessed a bit on the lower board here. You can see this gap here, and there's an LED, it looks like, on the end there that shone blue when I turned it on before. So I might need to take that LED off and just shave this board back flush with the USB-C port so it can sit flush, because all these ports are nice and flush with the board. So that might just need a little bit of finagling. I think that is a goer. Just like that. And then the positive wire would need to go off somewhere. Ground can go off to any of the numerous grounds. I think if we had a look, if we pop our meter in continuity mode here, what we want to do is put it to one side of one of these inductors, and then I believe from memory there was one of these pads up here. Yeah, that one there is positive, so I can jump a wire from there just over to there, and that'd be good. And then the ground, I can just take it off any of these like chassis ones. Like there's plenty of ground all the way around, so that looks good. Yeah, I think I think that's a pretty reasonable plan. So let's get to it, I guess. That looks good. So let's get our little meter out again. See what we got. Yeah, 20 volts. Nice. All right. One last check on the meter. 20. Close enough. All right. What I might do is, so I've gotten a couple of little solid core wires ready, so I might just get those prepared and then probably wrap this up really nicely in some Kapton, maybe even just a little bit of solder, heat shrink. But yeah, let's get those wires on first. Okay, nice and solid. Good. Good-o. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Let's get this board a little bit trimmed up. So I am going to, like I said, I think I'm going to take that little teensy tiny little LED off. Let's do that. I'm just going to heat flow it and let's just double check that that hasn't broken. Am I plugging it in? Yeah, still 20 volts. Good. Okay. If anything, it actually reduces the current draw. Okay. And yeah, like I said, I'm gonna probably just sand off maybe a millimeter of that board. Just get that little thing so that the USB port is right on the end. It doesn't look like there's any traces or anything at the front here. I wouldn't expect that to be. Now, how am I going to do that? There it is. There it comes from up here. So what I'll do, I can see that little trace, you can see the veer there. It's really hard to see on that black solder mask, but it's coming up and under on that side of the board. So I might actually just cut that down here with a little knife so that I can make sure that the voltage isn't getting to that part of the board when I shave it back. And that will just ensure that, I don't create a short accidentally. So I'm just going to use my little mechanic little grinder pen. I'm just going to just grind straight through that trace. Yeah, nice. Nice. So now that port is flush to the end of the board. And try that again. Double check it. 20 volts. Perfect. All right. So if we pop that in there now, yeah, look at that. We should be able to get that right to the front of the board. Nice and aligned. Yeah, that looks spot on. Great. Alright, so let's get this soldered down, and like I said, I might end up it's probably going to remove the repairability of this in the future. The good thing with hot glue is a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and it will strip it straight back off, so you will be able to remove that down the line. But yeah, I think I'm going to twist that around, pop that power in right there, and then this ground, I might spin it around and pop the ground, say, on one of these HDMI ground pads up here. And then just fill this area with hot glue to make sure that is nice and solid. And see how it goes. That's pretty cool as is. I like it. Okay, let's get going. I might do this under the microscope because it is a little bit fiddly. it should now just fold down in that spot there. Cool. Alright, what I'm going to do is going to go get my hot glue gun and pop a blobber right in there and then squish. Awesome. What I probably should do first though is test it. Let's see if this will actually work, hey? Alright. Hopefully that'll stay in there good enough. To give this... Oh, look at that. It's like it was made for it. Why didn't nVidia do this? Okay. Moment of truth. Let's plug some power in, see what happens. Yeah. Withdrawing some power. Watts. Seems like it's working. 5 watts. 6 watts. 7 watts. Yeah, it sounds like it's booting up. Friggin' sweet. Alright, well, I'd need to get this a little bit more stable, but that is looking incredibly promising. Awesome. Alright, let's get this back out. Make it solid. Give it a proper test. Okay, so stop a little bit right there. And then we'll just hold that down, get it in position, let it sit up for a minute. It should be nicely in place. It's not going anywhere, but I will add some more reinforcement, especially lateral, because you're going to be plugging it in there, so I want to put some at the back here to make sure it can't move in. But also let's get these wires nice flat positions out of the way of everything. So, like so. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then I should be able to just fold that down and under. Down under. Get it? Because I'm Australian. And then I can put some hot glue right there. Whoa, now it's melting. And right under there. I'm just gonna press that down with my thumb into the gaps. Yes, it's hot. You get used to it. Okay. Once that sets up, take off the excess, tidy it up, and we should be good. Okay. Our hot glue has set up, so let's pop it back in the case. And we are back together. So let's plug in some HDMI, some power. Let's see if that actually plugs in really nicely now. Yeah, that sits in perfectly. Nice and securely too. Good. Awesome. Alright. Yeah, let's plug in some HDMI. And give it a shot. Ooh. Doesn't look like I'll be able to fit my meter and my HDMI in at the same time, so we'll have to just trust that it's powering on. Alright, here goes. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. Booted up, no problem. Oh yeah, and you can see we've got the green light there. Huh. Oh no, there we go. Okay. So I don't have the connector, the joystick, so I can't test this any further, but hey, it's powering on. I don't think it needs any more work from me. Like, that's working perfectly. So, yeah, that is fantastic. And yeah, now it's USB-C powered. So I'm just going to button this up and get it back to its owner. But there you have it. One repaired nVidia Shield with USB-C. And we can plug in like so. You get the power LED. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. It just works. That is awesome. Hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching.